What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Resident Evil 9 and the Game Awards. Another will they, won't they type thing in the video series where I'm taking a look at several games at the Game Awards and talk about if they will or won't be there. We did one on Wonder Woman to start this, and I thought, okay, Wonder Woman is out of passion. Not that this isn't, but Wonder Woman is strictly a passion thing. The odds are pretty low. I don't have a lot of hope for it. Resident Evil, there's just something in me, even before the recent rumors, right? There's a few things to talk about here. It seems like we're building up, okay? Kind of coming from every different direction. Like, it seems like things are getting closer to a Resident Evil 9 announcement. Now, even before that, I've had a feeling for a while now, for like the majority of 2024, that like the Game Awards is a good spot. To me, it's either the Game Awards or like a State of Play. And you could say, well, State of Play, well, we've actually gone over it before. Actually more than you would think, Resident Evil remakes have been announced at a State of Play. You would think it would be a showcase. You would think it'd be at a Capcom show. No, turns out, them and Sony, they like to do their thing. But could it appear at the Game Awards? So, Wonder Woman was out of passion. This one, I actually have I have a good feeling. I want to follow my gut with this. And I mean, it's pretty simple why I believe this. Well, number one, we've had all these rumors kind of building up, right? And yes, rumors are rumors, but also it is around that time. Like, we think about all these games coming out in 2025, and Resident Evil 9 very well could be one of them that we don't even like put on the board yet, right? But I really think, you plan out with Monster Hunter, and then if you could hit us with an RE9 later on in the year, Capcom would be having a pretty great year. You also think about like Pragmata after that. Like, Capcom's got a lot going for it if you didn't know. But okay, so I think you have kind of the closeness, right? Like how close we are to the game potentially coming out. If it comes out anytime in 2025, I do think now is the right time, right? And you can look back at like the distance between, like I mentioned, like those State of Plays. Look back when they did RE2, or really all of them, 2, 3, 4. There's always like a range there. And so if you announce it at the Game Awards, I mean, well, technically it's already been announced, but I mean like a full-on reveal, right? Like having the director say, okay, well, we're doing it. That doesn't necessarily count for me. Having the entire game announced, that would put it in that 2025 round. You do have the rumors, and some of them come from more trustworthy people than others, but I don't know. It's a gut thing for me. It's okay. What I tend to think about with the Game Awards, right, is you give Jeff Keighley like 2 to 4 big games every year. There's about 2 to 4 really, really big ones. Then and that's like the A tier, right? Then there's like a B tier, C tier, etc., etc. Of course, there's games that like one person might care about and another won't, and it could get messy there because an RE9 announcement for me could be massive, but for other people they might not care. I think it's big enough though that it would matter, and that's another thing, right? You think about, and that's what I'm trying to do. You think about some games that would resonate with a lot of people and really be just like a gigantic announcement. I have 3 in my head. Now, I'm only going to say one here because I have other videos to make on these, but I do believe RE9 would be the type of game that is that big thing that everybody kind of wants to see. I mean, everybody's relative because, these games sell, 5, 10, 15 million, let's say, units. There's like 100 million people watching the Game Awards, so not everybody watching is going to end up buying it. But there's a couple games in my head that I think have that name recognition. In fact, all 3 I'm thinking of are in a franchise or part of like an existing IP. Like, people would know them. It's big enough for Resident Evil. It's close enough, and I think it just makes a lot of sense. I don't know. There's really not a lot of reasoning behind it other than I really think it's time. It's time. The Game Awards is a big show. A lot of eyes are on it, and I just feel like this makes a lot of sense for Jeff, for them, for I guess Capcom when I say them, for anybody. As we get closer and we don't have too much long to wait, there's going to be, I imagine, because I was going to say, like, watch for, like, leaks or rumors, right? The issue is there's a lot of people that always kind of, like, jump up and throw games into the mix because you're close, right? Where it's fake. And they throw in, hey, okay, expect to see whatever. Like, pick a popular game that's not going to be there, but they're saying it kind of for clout because it's somewhat believable. Because really, that's kind of the reason I think a lot of people watch the Game Awards is a lot is possible there. Like, you might not like Jeff Keighley. You might not like the awards themselves. You might not, whatever it might be. But I mean, there's generally like 20 to 30 announcements, and they can be new things. They could be updates on existing things. And like I said, there's normally 2, 3, 4 really big ones. Then there's another like 2, 3, 4 of like also pretty big ones, but just not as big. Like he goes all out. So, because of all of that, and because a lot of games are candidates, there's very few games that don't make sense for the Game Awards, right? So because of that, people can just make stuff up. And so it'll be interesting, right? Like, who do we see talking about RE9 as we get closer? I guess I should just throw out here to end the video. I know, like, the big rumor that, again, like, depends on who you're looking at, depends on how much you believe different people. The rumor that I have talked about, I think even the past couple of weeks, right, is like, okay, well, RE9, like, could they reveal could it reveal itself by the end of this year, and then could it be at a PlayStation event? So I guess that's just one thing to kind of keep in mind. It might obviously not end up happening, but as we get closer, if there is a PlayStation event, number one, I think that would be spectacular. I would really like that. But number two, beyond like the shock value, if there actually is one, the same people that were saying that were kind of saying about RE9. So I guess that's not like a lose situation. It's kind of like a win-win, right? Because if there's no PlayStation event, the odds of it being at the Game Awards, like, you still have a shot, right? If there is a PlayStation event, I feel like you almost have a better shot, because I think PlayStation and just RE, in fact, the 25th anniversary, the 25th State of Play that they did right back in 2019 was in December 10th, I believe, and they revealed RE3 remake. So it's like there's actually a lot of history there. If there's a PlayStation event, I actually think the odds drastically increase that RE9 is announced. It's just then, the title of the video, it would be maybe announced at a PlayStation event versus the Game Awards. Doesn't really matter where it's shown. It's just, will it be shown? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.